Fast am I, a very good evening and welcome to Manx Radio Motorsports coverage of the Blackford Financial Services pre-TT Classic Road Races, taking place here in the south of the Isle of Man on the Billown Course. 4.25 miles in length and the first action of the 2024 Manx Road racing season. A nod to yesteryears with the nostalgic sounds and smells to jog your memory of years ago supporting this great sport. Well, the weather, it's considerably better than the last 2 days have been, as I'm sure you've been aware, quite windy and very wet indeed. Not ideal at all for the organisers down here at the Southern 100 Club, or indeed the TT organisers with all the heavy vehicles and the temporary structures going in place, and a lot of damage is being caused. So it's a lot better. It's mainly dry and largely cloudy through this evening and overnight, with some clear intervals developing by the end of the night. Light to moderate south or southeast winds and a minimum temperature of 9 degrees Celsius. And the good news is fine and dry tomorrow. Sunny spells, light winds and a little bit warmer. It's been like autumn the last few days. A top temperature up to 16 Celsius. Bit of a blip maybe Sunday morning. Outbreaks of rain to start, but then becoming drier and brighter later in the day, which looks promising for our action there, the race action on Sunday. A light to moderate, mainly southeast wind and a high temperature of 15. Well, the team, I'm glad to say, we've got Rob Pritchard out on the scaffolding there at Cross Four Ways, and Chris Kinley is down at the clubhouse. The schedule for this evening, of course, it's all practice. Roads are now closed around the Billown Course at 6:15 until 6:25, so a 10-minute window for all newcomers, a familiarisation of the circuit, and that will include the sidecars at the back with a lot of the new passengers. Just before we go on to the rest of the schedule for this evening, we do have a request from the police. Car registration PMN 161A. It's parked in the runoff at Castletown Corner. The owner is requested to attend his vehicle and please remove it so that we can get our action underway. PMN 161A in the runoff at Castletown Corner. Owner to attend and please remove. So we've got the course inspection cars all here on the grid with the lights flashing. Quite visual to see those lights in this sort of quite gloomy conditions. But as I say, the main thing is it is dry. So after the newcomers' familiarisation of the circuit lap, we have practice for race 1, the singles. That's from 6:26 until 6:38. And yes, the precise timing of the organisers down here, you better be ready because they will stick to that schedule, or even get ahead of it if they can. Then we've got the 1100cc Classic, that's at 6:48 until 7. Junior Superbikes, that's race 3, that's from 7:18 until 7:30. Then we have the Senior Classic bikes out, 7:40 until 7:52. Then the Lightweight Classic and the 125 Post Classic, 2 minutes past 8 until 8:14. Then we have the Junior Classics out, 8:24 until 8:36. Senior Superbikes at 8:46 until 8:58 p.m. And then the sidecars are last to go out at 8 minutes past 9 until 9:20. Roads closed at 6 o'clock and they will reopen no later than 9:40 this evening. So that is the schedule. Quite a lot of changes people will notice here on the Castletown bypass, where we are in what's affectionately known as the bus, as it used to be the bus for the commentary point, a double-decker down here. There are a lot of changes, and that is a result of that tragic incident that halted the Southern 100. And still very much in our thoughts are the loss of rider Alan Connor and Marshal Liam Clark. And we send our heartfelt thoughts to the family and friends of those two gentlemen. But we do have a lot of safety fencing now from the bottom of School Hill right the way down to the clubhouse now. We've got digital lights as well have been added at the finish line and at the turn-off where they go off onto Arbury Road back to the paddock or the winner's enclosure. There's a wider return and exit lanes have been put in. Those are the red dotted lines that you see on the approach to Arbury Road on the left-hand side of the road and coming out of the holding area. And during practice, here at the start-finish, we are going to get 3, 2 and 1 minute boards displayed so that riders are aware of roughly when they can expect the checkered flag to come out. So it is a very, very different looking and very racy looking bypass here with all the changes that have happened down here. Well, let's get the thoughts as the newcomers are, of course, preparing for that. Much anticipated, I'm sure, by them, familiarisation of the circuit. Due away, as I say, in 5 minutes or so, but I do notice that the course cars are still to depart. So let's get the thoughts first of all, and great to see him back out there at Cross Four Ways is Rob Pritchard. Good evening. I bet you're glad to be back there at Cross Four Ways in the garden there at Corner Cottage.
Yes, fast am I, Tim. Good evening to everyone around the Colas Billown Course and beyond as well. Yes, a pleasure to be back once again here at Cross Four Ways. And my word, have I upgraded for those who haven't seen it. We do have our trusty scaffolding over here on the corner, looking right down the road on the reverse way on this 4.25 mile course as they enter into Cross Four Ways. And then just looking over to my left shoulder, seeing the exit over on that far left-hand side. It really is a fantastic view. I've even got myself an extra platform, and I've even got myself a desk here on the scaffolding. I think if I need any more additions to this, I'll probably be having the planning committee asking me a few questions. But a fantastic setup here, and a big thanks as well to Darryl Blake for the setup that they've kindly put together for us here at Cross Four Ways, as always. Well, just like Tim mentioned as well, if we're looking at the weather conditions, it is a little bit gloomy around the course, but crucially at the moment things are dry. If I look over to the right-hand side, well, 12 months ago, I certainly didn't have to look too hard to find my trusty weather vane of South Barrule across the course from where I'm stood and a few miles into the distance. However, I get the sneaking suspicion in the last 12 months that maybe it has been dramatically excavated, that landmark, because, well, I can't see it at all, and that's because of the low-lying cloud that we have around the course and across the Isle of Man at the moment. But crucially, despite the cloud just lingering around at the moment, as has already been mentioned, things are dry as it stands, so hopefully that bodes well for tonight's practice session and across the 3 days of racing that we're going to have. Looking at the entries, well, a healthy entry is what the Southern 100 Club have described it once again for this year. 231 entries in total, and a fantastic group of newcomers coming in again as well. One thing that the Southern 100 Club, when I spoke to them early this week, is one thing that they've been proud of over the past couple of years, is seeing more newcomers and indeed young people getting involved in classic racing here on the Billown Course. And looking at the newcomers list that I've got in front of me, I won't have time to go through all of them, so apologies if I've missed your name out, but just looking across a few of the classics, we've got the likes of number 93, Gary Abbott, in the singles classic. There's no fewer than 8 in the junior superbike class, the likes of James Leatham, Dale Brew, Luke Blevins, William Birchall, Blake Kelly, Ashley Robson, Adam Randalls and Sam Norton, and more besides. Just looking at the sidecars as well, we have 3 new passengers in Sam Hersbrook in the number 7 machine, Sharon Reeves in the number 11 outfit, and James Salisbury in the number 28 car as well. And indeed the driver number 28, Adam Holden, also a newcomer as well. So great to see more new faces popping up here at the Billown Course, and we wish them all the very best over the next 3 days. And looking as well elsewhere, the 125 class. Now, that's been a subject of discussion as well. The 125, of course, combined in that 250cc, 125cc class in the race that will come up later in the meeting as well. 6 entries again in the class. There was a bit of an appeal put out by the Southern 100 Club going into this year's meeting, just to try and maybe draw a few more into it. And very good to see that we do have another selection of entries. Like I mentioned, 6 in total in the 125cc machines in that particular combined class. One thing I I have noticed, though, just taking a look through the programme as well, is some of the notable names of the last few years that may well not be involved at this year's meeting. The likes of Dom Herbertson, Mike Hose, as well as the current sidecar lap record holders, Kieran Clark and Andrew Johnson, who set the new benchmark last year in 91.687 miles per hour. They don't appear to be involved as well, according to the programme as well. So that might just open things up a little bit, not just for those experienced heads out there who are looking to push toward the top as well, but the aforementioned newcomers as well. Is there an opportunity in it for them? We'll have to wait and see. A fantastic corner, this cross four ways, watching the racing coming through here. And one thing I've always found interesting is on that approach into the dip down in front of me and into that braking zone, coming past that little compression on the left-hand side for the riders, our right-hand side. Always interesting to see what lines those riders take through here as they are jousting in a motorsport sense to get supremacy into this tight right-hander at cross four ways. Some of them prefer that quite wide line to get a good scope going into that corner. Others prefer to take that manoeuvre down on a more shallower route right past us here where our scaffolding is and right in front of us by the hedgerow to try and just get a little bit more ahead of those maybe taking the wider line through there. It really is a great spot to watch down here. So we're all ready to go here at cross four ways, and hopefully the natural powers that be above us don't wring out the proverbial sponge of those clouds above us this evening. We get plenty of practice in. In the meantime, all set to go here, Tim. Back to you for now.
Yes, echo those sentiments. The forecast, though, is suggesting things should be okay this evening weather-wise. We've got a 5-minute or so delay to proceedings. The organisers, of course, have got to make sure all the marshals are in place. We've got that car that we mentioned, and I'll just repeat that. If your car is registration PMN 161A, it's in the runoff at Castletown Corner. The owner, please attend and remove the car. The police are there trying to facilitate matters and move that vehicle, but they can't at the moment locate the owner, so please do remove that car. Mike Hose was mentioned there by Rob Pritchard, and he has won more pre-TT Classic races than anyone else. 21 pre-TT wins for Mike Hose, and I know he's had a few health issues in the past year, so we do send our best wishes to Mike on his continued recovery. Bill Swallow is second on the all-time list with 16 wins. Bob Heath with 15, Alan Oversby with 14, Chris Palmer, who's the rider liaison officer down in these parts, with 13. And we do have two cars that need moving now at Castletown Corner, and unless they are, they will stop things going ahead and happening. That PMN 161A that we've mentioned, it is a Citroen C4, and we've also got RMN 342H, which is a Vauxhall Corsa. So PMN 161A, a Citroen C4 at Castletown Corner. Please remove that from the runoff area. And RMN 342H, a Vauxhall Corsa, again, please can that be removed? It is holding things up because the race organisers will not be able to start until these cars are moved. So for the good of the hundreds of other spectators that are waiting for the action to get underway, and for the clerk of the course's health and stress levels, please remove those cars as soon as possible. Yes, so we're mentioning Chris Palmer with 13. Jamie Coward, 11 wins at the pre-TT meeting. Blackpool's finest, Roy Richardson with 10. Paul Coward with 8. Dominic Herbertson with 7. Bob Jackson with 6. And Ewan Hamilton with 6 wins. So that's the roll of honour going into the past. And as Rob Pritchard said, the absence of a couple of these riders on that list could well just open things up. Well, let's pop back down to the clubhouse a little bit further down the straight here on the bypass, the start-finish line, down to where the holding area is. And a very good evening, and how are things down there? Chris Kinley.
Yes, good evening, Tim. Good evening to everybody out there listening around the world and, of course, around this 4.25-mile Colas Billown circuit. We are here down in the holding area waiting for the machines to be given the release to go. Obviously, we've got a problem with those cars. Please, let's get those shifted. Let's get underway. There's some very nervous-looking people in orange jackets. No, not the Orange Army, the guys and girls who are the newcomers down here. We've got 13 solo newcomers on the list. We've got 3 sidecar passenger newcomers in there as well. Tim, of course, will run through all those changes for you as you go throughout the day. Just having a quick chat to a few people. Had a quick chat with young Will Loader. Nice to see Will here again. He's telling me he's young when I remember being born. Is 2 already. How did that happen? Where did that time go all of a sudden? Will's looking forward to it. You won't miss him because he's got some very, very bright RST leathers to wear. Also a good friend of the Manx Grand Prix and also at Scarborough Races. Good to see the Scarborough team back in action again earlier on this year. Roger Wibley making his debut here as well. Roger, many times at the Manx Grand Prix for Roger. Other names to pick out, to look out for. There's a lot of guys from the Andreas Racing Association in there as well. I could just see number 55 there, Rhys Callister. I could just see Rhys there at number 55. He should be interesting. Once he's got little 125. He's normally racing up at Derby in the lightweight class in there. I think there's about 14 or maybe 15 guys from the local Andreas Club being in there as well. Paul Cassidy, how famous is Paul Cassidy now after that incident at the Northwest 200? And the people that, the barrier that he hit before he was catapulted quite, how shall we say, ceremoniously in the air before he came to rest on the bonnet of a Volkswagen Polo or a Golf or something like that. They've actually invited him there to come and see them, and maybe I think they give him a bottle of champagne or something anyway. So well done to them, the Milltown place there in Ballymoney. Great Northwest runner, but we're here on the Billown circuit now. Weather-wise down here, it's a little bit chilly, to be honest with you. I wish I'd have bought a bit of a bobble hat, to be fair. I'll go and get a Southern 100 one, I think, just to keep the old noggin warm. Looking over towards where the flags are, the various nations, looking by the stand there, the Derek Nicholson stand. You can just see all the flags of the nations looking over towards South Barrule, etc, etc. That's shrouded in mist at the moment. No effect here being shrouded in mist. I mean, I remember 1 year here not being able to see from Cross Four Ways up to Church Bends many moons ago, but that was on a nighttime practice at the Southern 100. No such problems here now. No sign of the rain. Getting lots of stories, some of the guys here, about what it was like here on the Wednesday evening when it absolutely howled a gale and lashed a rain. We've all seen on the social media post about what happened up at the Grand Centre. It was pretty rough down here as well, with a lot of awnings gone for a Burton, as we say. They've all gone. They've all had to be replaced. These little pop-up ones held down by the old straps, and I'm looking at one awning there, and he's actually put some of his guide hooks into the wall to try and stop it, but no problems with that today. A gentle breeze as you look down the start and finish straight. If you look down the circuit on your left and right, the wind is blowing from your left to right, and I've just been told the course inspection cars are making their way around on the main straight here, and there'll be that little fast little flip, it's kind of straight lined really. It looks a bit left and right, or right then left just before you get to Ballackagan. Then it'll be turning right at Ballackagan and heading down that long straight down to Iron Gate. You mentioned Chris Palmer there before. I think Rob Pritchard did. I've just seen Chris having a little walk around here, speaking to a few of the riders. He'll have been taking a lot of them round, and good to see Andy Farrell here as well. Andy, former Manx Grand Prix winner. Andy on the number 96 machine. He's going to be running a Ducati in the big superbike class. Be interesting to see how Andy gets on, and he said he has been here before 19 years ago, and I was like, what, really? So he's going to go out for a familiarisation lap, because it has been a long time since Andy Farrell from the Scaries has been here. Good to see Andy here as well. Just spotted Chris McGahn in the background there as well, the number 9 machine. Chris, he's been away doing a little bit of racing as well, and I've just spotted there young Joey Thompson as well. But here is Chris Palmer. I might try and grab a wee quick word with him, and after they get a quick chat with some of the officials down here, we must just grab a word with Chris, see his thoughts. Has he been for a lap around the circuit, what his take is? But obviously it will have changed. Obviously the circuit closed at 6:05, so Chris might have been for a lap just before then. I think he's just in conversation with the officials just down here, just to keep them updated with exactly what is happening. They've all got the old headsets on, and if you do hear a klaxon sound in a couple of minutes' time, they've got one of those air horn things that you see at football matches and things, because sometimes the guys just don't see the fact that they're about to go out and track, or they don't see a green flag, they don't see a wave of the arm. But like Tim pointed out at the start, there is always, these guys here run it pretty much to the letter of the schedule. Obviously going to be a little bit behind there now, and they'll try and get that time back. We'll try and just grab Chris's eye if we can. Yeah, he's just having a little chat with him if we can. Of course, Chris, supporter and helper of young Joe Yeardsley. We'll just grab a word with him if we can. Just squeeze past and just grab him. Come over here, you Palmy boy. Chris Palmer, live on Manx Radio Motorsport. Chris, back down at Billown, the smiles on your face. I've seen you wander around like a headless chicken.
Yeah, just like a headless chicken. Yeah, real busy boy at the minute, so I've got lots of little jobs to do. So, but it's just good that it's dry. It's good that there's no wind, and I just hope everybody enjoys it and has a good time.
You've been for a lap a little bit earlier on. Track conditions looking pretty good. Reports coming in okay?
Yeah. There was a few damp patches under the trees and stuff. Hopefully that'll have gone by now. But I've been at work today, so I literally have been like headless chicken. Got home, got changed, and then back down the paddock and running around.
Where are the places around Billown that take the longest to drive for the listeners out there? From a rider standpoint, you know where to look for. This is what you've been relaying to all these newcomers, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, basically under the trees, so when you come out of Cross Four Ways, it was actually some damp patches there under the trees, and obviously round the back, Williams Corner, places like that. But and obviously with all the wind we had the other night, and obviously a lot of leaves and debris down on the road, so a lot of cleaning up to do. So yeah, hopefully everything will be fine.
When does the rider liaison job start for you? Does it start at January, the start of the year, when they start getting the entries in and then they start contacting you? How does it work?
Do you know what? Sometimes people come over and I take them around for laps and bits and bobs, things like that, but it really only starts for me when the riders get here. I take all the newcomers round for their lap, talk them round, try and show them where the marks are on the road that I used to use, what apexes to use, what to watch out for, what to do, what not to do, all that sort of thing. And then afterwards, they can maybe get a lap with me after practice at some point, or they can come to me and we can discuss certain sectors or certain corners or whatever, and anything that they're struggling with, even suspension. Quite a lot of the time I'm around here at night helping them set suspension. Some of them come across with bikes that are set for short circuits and they're set too stiff for these bumps around here. So yeah, I just try and advise them and try and help them the best I can.
Smiling?
Oh yeah, I'm always smiling, me, aren't I?
Good job, Chris. Thanks for your time. And you got a jacket with your name on it and everything.
All official now, mate. I've got all my jobs around my neck. I'm like course inspection officer, and what else have I got? Rider liaison officer. Yeah, so I do all sorts now. So yeah, busy boy.
Thanks, Chris, for your time. I'll let you get back to the guys.
Cheers, mate. Thank you.
Thank you, Chris Palmer. There. Yeah, it'd be nice to hear from Chris as we go. Well, we'll be hearing from Chris later on in the sessions, no doubt. Maybe hear from him tomorrow. He's just gone over to have a quick chat with Joey Thompson. So no sign of movement here yet, Tim, but we will be underway hopefully very shortly. Those course inspection cars, I'm going to probably say maybe through Ballabeg by now. Back to you.
Thanks very much indeed. A little flavour of things there in the holding area down at the clubhouse, and some anxious newcomers and indeed excited newcomers will be itching to get out onto the course. So looking up, we always have a little sight up the railway line is where we look towards the bridge at Castletown Corner. And we can just about see the helmets go across there. Haven't seen the safety cars go through there, but the stationary yellow flag of the marshals at the top of School Hill Rise is being held out. So we will wait for things to come. The winner of the singles race last year, of course, this is the race that has two races within the one race, because there's a race for the 250s and also the 350s, and the aforementioned Mike Hose, who's always been the number 4 machine, was in first place. Second was Will Loader, the number 27, and Adrian Scaife at number 15 was third. That's in the 350 class. In the 250s, a popular win it was as well for Barry Davidson, with second Andy Hunt, and in third Jeff Bates getting in there. Just seen one of the course cars just stopped, it is at the moment, on the bridge. You can see the yellow flashing light up ahead of me. So they're just obviously taking in something as a plane flies towards us as well from Ronaldsway Airport, and it's just about to go over the start-finish line as it just disappears into some light low clouds. So that's the noise of the light aircraft just taking off there from Ronaldsway. So the course inspection car, I can see it is stationary up there on the bridge, so maybe they're just looking to see if these cars have been removed. We'll just give those regs out, and apologies if you have attended and removed, but there were 2 cars there at Castletown Corner, PMN 161A, a Citroen C4 that needed to be removed, and RMN 342H, the registration number of the Vauxhall Corsa. So if those cars still there, they do need moving, and that course inspection car, well, it is still on the bridge as we look up the railway line and has moved no further. So we wait for action. We gave you the single solo riders that are in the Hall of Fame, as it were, here at the Blackford Financial Services Pre-TT Classic Road Races. For the sidecars, the winning drivers headed by Eddie Wright with 9 wins. Second, Vince Biggs on 5. Jeff Hands with 4. Stuart Digby with 3. Nick Houghton with 3, and also on that 3 mark, Rod Bellis. Just going to look for the newcomers that we've got, because there are, we've mentioned a few of them, but there's been a sizable number of newcomers that are arriving here and taking part for the first time, and they are to look out for number 37, Chris Moffat, is a newcomer. Number 43, Dale Brew, is a newcomer. 47, Luke Blevins. 49, William Birchall, is a newcomer in the solos. 55, as Chris Kinley mentioned, Rhys Callister. We've got at 61, Richard Hunt. We've got Paul McMahon at number 64 as a newcomer. And then we've got Stephen Radakovich at number 82. Number 86, Kyle Parks. Number 89, Ashley Robson, a newcomer. 91, Adrian Morris. At 94, Adam Randalls. And, of course, as we've mentioned as well, Chris gave him a big check and a big supporter as well of the Manx Grand Prix over many years now. But a debut here, Roger Witherley. And in the sidecars, there was mentions of the passengers. So in number 7, the driver there is Steve Brooks with a new passenger in Sam Hersbrook from Telford. Then outfit number 11, Danny Quirk, the driver, and Sharon Reeves from Chesterfield is the newcomer passenger there. Number 28, Adam Holden, is the driver, but a new passenger, and that is James Salisbury. And they are the ones that we have, the 3 there. Couple of to-be-confirmed passengers, so we'll just wait and see as they come through. We haven't had the list of changes to riders and potentially machines. They come normally on the race days ahead, and we'll give you all the details there. We'll be able to pick out some of the new entries or late entries from the leaderboard as we go throughout the evening. I can tell you that Michael de Koppel is here and just had a very late riders briefing and sign on with the official team here at the start-finish line, really a quarter of an hour or so before the roads closed. He's just in on the big machinery, the big post-classic machinery a little bit later on. It's had a heck of a journey. He came in and said hello in the commentary box, Indy, and he was racing away on the continent, and then has had a long journey to get over here to the Isle of Man. And a big shout as well, Chris Palmer mentioned all the leaves and the detritus that's been brought down onto roads right across the Isle of Man, and a number of trees, of course, around the Billown Course. Going into work this morning, the roads were a real mess with a lot of debris on the course. So a big shout out to the infrastructure sweeper boys who, well, when I came home this evening, did do a quick lap around the course, and conditions, well, you wouldn't have recognised them from the morning until what we've got here this evening. The course inspection cars are back round. We should be into the last minute before we see the bikes being released. So we'll go and join Chris Kinley.
Yeah, they've just put the hooter on. You're just out of time for missing that, Tim. Yeah, they're just going to bring the bikes forward here now. I'm going to make my way up the little... Excuse me, just trying to put my glasses back on my head with the headphones on that I've got to keep my ears warm, because it is actually quite cool, to be fair. I will make my way around and get myself a hat in a moment or two. So the newcomers making their way around. For those who aren't familiar why they have to do it, it's, well, first of all, it's in the regulations, first of all. And secondly, they haven't been here before. They might have been here as support for other teams. They might have been here for, you know, just to watch or just seeing it on the telly. But they still have to come here like they do at most places now, especially on the roads, and do a familiarisation lap of the circuit, or familiarisation laps of the circuit behind the travelling marshals. And obviously they'll be held along and done at a reasonable speed. So machines will now be brought forward. You can hear just behind me that little rattle you just here and there. They have a little gate that kind of blocks the road off from people coming down. That's now been locked into position. And the first newcomer that rolls is 35 James Leatham. James is not down as a newcomer in the programme, but he is a newcomer, so keep an eye on him. Looks like a CBR 600 it is. Also got 82, 86, 93, 96 Andy Farrell on that lovely Ducati he's going to be on. Just bedding in that front brake, getting a bit of heat in that front brake. The 851 Ducati, just hear the twin drone as it goes by. Dry clutch on it as well, hear that rattling away. 64, 99 all coming forward as well, going to enjoy their time round. Paul McMahon there, 47, 61 going through, steady on chaps. 89 also going through there as well. 89 give a mention to Ashley Robson, young lady. 94 in there too. That's big Adam Randall's just gone past there. Adam, good to see Adam, another one of the Andrea's crew. There's Roger Wibley, the aforementioned Roger Wibley, as we mentioned. Big Rog on that GSXR 750 machine. 43 coming past, that's Dale Brew, one of our local guys. That's nice. TZ Yamaha 74, Joey Thompson going for a lap. 55 young Reese Callister. You can just hear that one. Natsu Shaki Racing or something like that on the side of it. And then the sidecars, number 11 is one of them. Just hear that 125 just dinging into life there now. 71 just about to go out onto the line as well. Oh, looking really relaxed. We've got one more sidecar just behind. I think that's number 3. So we'll just move out the way, try not to get run over, and we'll get underway with the Blackford Financial Services Pre-TD Classic, the first road race event here on the island of the year. Just a little reminder for those of you who are coming over for the Southern 100 in July, stick around, because there is going to be a 2-day meeting up at Derby on the airfield. So if you'd like to make your way up there, supported by the Andreas Racing Association, 2-day meeting after the Southern 100, so extend your stay for a couple of days. Cross 4 ways and bomb hole in the stadium, it tells me here. Damp patches, thank you Michael for the information. Danny Quirk and the Quirk's Classics, the vintage Vincent Specialist machine. Quirky sounds really nice, that Avon tyre on the rear of that. 74 Joe Thompson, that TZ 250 that he always goes well round Scarborough on as well. So a good scutch, as we say here on the Isle of Man, which means quite a few. You can just see the rear light on them as well. Joey just checking the rear suspension on that number 74 TZ 250 Yamaha, slick tyres on front and rear. 55, as you said, Reese Callister. 43 Dale Brew, just alongside number, what's this one here, 88 it is. That's 88, that's Rob Lowe on the little 350 Honda. I think we're getting ready to go down here now. Get the gate open down the bottom there. Boris, he'll be a happy man, keeping an eye on Leeds, I'm sure, like Tim will on Sunday, I think it is. Leeds against, who is it in the thing? It's Southampton or something like that? Anyway, whoever it is, Leeds, whoever it is, Leeds against somebody in the championship playoffs. And machines are now on the circuit. They're making their way up, around, up onto the hedges, as they call it affectionately round here. And then into Ballackagan, number 3, and then number 7 on the sidecar is just about to go. And that lovely blue haze of smoke is just hanging over the hedges as we get all the solar riders away, number 88 being the last one to go. And we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 sidecars. We've got numbers 11 in there. Number 11 is Danny Quirk with Sharon Reeves, a newcomer passenger. You know the newcomers because they got the orange on. And number 7 in there is Steve Brooks and Sam Hersbrook, or Hesbrook, sorry, should I say. So they're about to go out there now. Sounds really nice, doesn't it? On the 750 Suzuki on that. That'll be 750 Kettle in that as well. Those will know what's going on. Got a newcomer with a problem, not being able to get out on track, actually. One of the sidecars has not managed to get past the line. He's just not, unfortunately, got that thing sorted out. And I think it was 30... Is it 38, is it, or 35? Yeah, number 35, yeah, we mentioned him, James Leatham, for his team. Just can't get the machine to fire up there. He's taken the lid off the CBR 600. But the bikes are away. They're making their way around the circuit. They'll be probably right through Iron Gate already, past Joey's Gate, into Ballabeg, and they won't be too far away on the newcomers' lap for Rob Pritchard.
Yeah, indeed, we wait for the newcomers to arrive on this familiarisation lap. You mentioned the damp patches before, and it was exactly as Chris Palmer mentioned before. If you're talking about Cross Four Ways, he talks about the tree cover just over to my left-hand side as well on the exit of the corner as you make your way towards Church Bend. So maybe just something for these riders to bear in mind. And as you mentioned with this familiarisation lap, first and foremost, they're getting used to this course because, of course, it is a public road for the vast majority of the year as well. It's not that you can come down here and just rattle your classic machine all the way around here as much as you like and whatever speed you can. It is a public road at the end of the day. As we see the first machines making their way towards Cross Four Ways of 2024, we've got the travelling marshals, and that's two of the newcomers just making their way out front. Numbers 47 and then number 96 as well in there as well. So the first two machines, 49, 82 also through Cross Four Ways here, as is number 99. That's Sam Norton for the Junior Superbikes. Number 86, that's Kyle Parks on the way through. Number 93 as well on the way through, and a whole scutch of them. That wonderful phrase that Chris and Tim just mentioned before as well. They're not going to just be learning the course. They come through these particular entrance and exits points on the corners and along those long straights. They're going to be learning a little bit more about those machines as well. You won't be taught everything in a familiarisation lap, but particularly as we've just seen number 88 go through as well, just at the back of that particular pack of newcomers. They're going to be learning more and more about those machines as well and how they handle this particular course, particularly when they get going maybe just at a little more pace through that practice session and into qualifying as well. They're going to be wondering to themselves, what are those throttle positions like? What's the balance in that fuel mixture going to be? All sorts of things that they've got to bear in mind. Those are the solos, and we've now got two of the sidecar outfits just in behind one of the travelling marshals here. There's number 11, so Sharon Reeves, the passenger newcomer, alongside an experienced competitor. And number 71 coming through as well. Those are the two sidecar machines. I know it was mentioned there before that maybe just one of them didn't manage to make it out the paddock for this familiarisation lap. But in the meantime, back to you, Tim.
Yeah, it's just seeing the first of our solos go through. There's a number 82 there going through. 82 being Stephen Radakovic, safely through. And they'll be going on to another lap. 81 just through there. That's Blake Kelly. That's 94 going through. That's Adam Randalls. Let's have a little listen. And that was 88, the last of those bikes through. Rob Lowe. So the green flag being displayed there at the top of School Hill Rise. And they'll be going now out on the first full circuit of the Colas Billown Course. 4.25 miles of tarmac here in the south of the Isle of Man, which provides so many treats to have, of course, this pre-TT Classic meeting. And the Southern 100 takes place in July. So machines spotted there on the front on the bridge. So Marshall at the front here. Two machines into view. Number 11 and number 71 go through. And number 11 is Danny Quirk with Sharon Reeves there from Chesterfield. And the other machine through as well. And that is 71, James Blackmore, the driver of that outfit. 71, and it was a to be confirmed, and just getting TRE, so I'm thinking maybe it's Trevor, but we can't give you any more of the name than that. So the first of the machines that was through here was 47, Luke Blevins, just behind the travelling marshal at the front. 96, Andy Farrell, lovely to see him back, as Chris was saying earlier. 49, William Birchall is through. We saw 82, Stephen Radakovic through as well. 99, Sam Norton. 86, Kyle Parks. 81, Blake Kelly. 94 Adam Randalls, 89 Ashley Robson, 93 Gary Abbott, 64 Paul McMahon, 37 Chris Moffat, 61 Richard Hunt, 118 Roger Wibberley, 74, not a newcomer, that's having a little outing here, Joey Thompson, 43 Dale Brew, 55 Reese Callister, and 88 Rob Lowe. And the two sidecar machines through as well, but we did hear there was a problem with one of the machines there in the holding area. So let's go and get another taste of the action as they will be heading into the view of Rob Pritchard at Cross Four Ways when they've come through Williams Corner and past Maggie's Cottage into the site of Rob Pritchard.
Indeed, they have been into the sight of me and made it out the exit of the corner, have the solo machines. Just a little bit on that in the sidecar outfit that didn't seem to just be making out the paddock to start with. We did see a third sidecar outfit come through, accompanied by one of the travelling marshals. So Chris Kinley might know who that was, but if it was number 7, Steve Brooks, and the newcomer passenger Sam Hersbrook, they did actually make it round Cross Four Ways on that first bit of the familiarisation lap. So if indeed they were the outfit that just weren't able to get out to start with, they are out circulating on this familiarisation lap as two of those sidecar outfits now hove into view once again. There is number 11 and number 71. So number 71, James Blackmore on the Win the Limp as well, and Danny Quirk and Sharon Reeves. Sharon Reeves, as I mentioned, the newcomer passenger on the Bellas Vincent. One thing I've noticed actually in the programme, and this might cause some great disappointment for Tim Glover, I'm not seeing a Triumph Thunderbird in that sidecar class this year. The Sit-Up-and-Beg Triumph Thunderbird, fantastic spectacle, that thing, as it makes its way through Cross Four Ways and around the course. So sorry to mention it to you, Tim, if you hadn't noticed it already. But yes, two more of those sidecar outfits are through. Back to you, Tim.
Yes, thank you very much indeed. And the checkered flag for this familiarisation session for the newcomers is out, so they'll be making their way over to the left-hand side of the road and back at Arbury Road, back to the paddock. Trevor Johnson was the passenger we were trying to name for the outfit number 71, the driver James Blackmore. It's Trevor Johnson is the passenger, and we did see slowly limping around, it would appear, outfit number 7, Steve Brooks with Sam Hersbrook, and they on that Suzuki clearly having a few technical issues, the driver from Winsford and the passenger there from Telford. So much so that that sidecar had a marshal escort, and behind them were going very slowly because they knew the checkered flag was out as well. Were all the solos who caught up the back of the field. So they've managed to limp that outfit back, the Hayes Suzuki. And I'm sure there'll be a bit of spannering and a bit of work going on to see if they can get back out a little bit later. And indeed, does that class as one of their familiarisation laps or not? So we should have some singles machinery, as I said earlier. 2 races within the one. We've got the 250cc class and the 350cc. But there are podiums for both classes. And is there any action down there in the holding area, Chris Kinley?
Not just yet. The final sidecars have just come in. Sad news though, Kenny Howells and Jordan Forrest, number 3, did manage to get there. 750 Suzuki out, unfortunately, for a run. I didn't see Kenny out. Well, Kenny's just over there now, just speaking to some spectators there. So he did manage to get out. And also number, just back over the pages, you get lots of pages to look at here. Number 35. One of the newcomers, he didn't get out either for his run, so he'll be obviously going in to speak to the officials in there. Number 35, I get to the right page, it's just too many fingers, not enough hands. James Leatham did manage to get out for his lap. He said he had problems. He got the machine fired up, but unfortunately he couldn't get the machine quite on the mark. Just look at some of the times. I know it's obviously the newcomers going some pretty good pace on there as well. Andy Farrell got round with a couple of laps. Sam Norton, Blake Kelly also ran. Stevan Radakovic, he also got a couple of laps. Number 82, Ashley Robson, 89, got 2. So they all got their couple of laps in. Roger Wibley in there as well, my old mate Rog. Good to see him out there as well. Danny Quirk, Sharon Rees and 71 James Blackmore and Trevor Johnson. They also got their laps in. So the first session will be coming up in a couple of minutes' time. I'm going to look forward to that when they bring the machines forward. There is a couple of machines in here already, but they're obviously just been out as newcomers. So what they do is it's so efficient down here. They know the guys here what colour plates they're on, and if they've been out in this first session, they direct them into here, into the little holding area, which is called on the radio system here, just Aubrey Road, that's what it is, Aubrey Road to control, and then they pass the message on. It all goes through the old radio system. They're all in communication, and I'll just wait to see. I'm just having a little look up there where the tent is, where the scrutineer hut is, or the technical official for hut is, and we won't be too far away for this MSP-R singles classic practice. Of course, they'll be getting, I'm not sure how long they get, but they get a good old scutcher time. Bob Doughty out on there, number 15. Second in the race last year. Chatted to him off air a bit earlier on. Will Loader, he's on the Greaves Alton. Of course, Mike Hose. And Mike, if you are listening over there, buddy, we'll hopefully see you again here back at Billown. He's having this year off and hopefully back next year. He's been mentioned quite a few times. Who else have we got there? Who was third last year? Barry Davison, as you mentioned there. Yep, absolutely. 8th last year was Andrew Guy. He was a newcomer last year. He's back again for his second time at Billown on his Drixton Mackie. Rod Graham on the Ducati Mark III. He was 9th last year, the number 22 machine. Also 6th, Shelley Pike on the 350 Ducati. Newcomer Shelley last year, she was 6th. And 4th last year, of course, was Andy Hunt. He's running at number 103. He's on the 250 Ducati Monza. So we're just keeping an eye up on the road. I did hear the Traveller Marshals go a couple of moments ago. And now it is official. The TD Festival, if you want to call it that, has already started because Wheelie is here. Wheelie Annie Konihauser is here, the German guy. You see him every year with all the badges. He is here, and he is around. Just had a long chat with him, looking in tip-top form, and he's looking forward to his 2 weeks again here. He says it's like coming home it is to the Isle of Man. Good to see Wheelie here, and good to see all the rest of you guys coming over here to the Isle of Man. Hopefully better weather for tomorrow. So no signs of the machines as of yet. Tim, we'll just hand back to you while we wait for details. We've got 2 machines in the holding area. We'll keep an eye out.
Thanks very much indeed, Chris. And yes, race 1, this will be when we get underway on Saturday, tomorrow evening. You can identify the classes. The green-plated machines are the 175cc to 250cc bikes. And the second class, blue plates on the bikes for them. They're 251cc up to 350cc. And it's quite a while back for these race records, particularly in the lap record for the 250s. You've got to go back all the way to 1997. And it was Bob Jackson that set the mark at 83.42 miles per hour. And it's back to 2009 for the 350cc single record. Roy Richardson, 88.44 miles per hour. So we do have former winners in here, as we've been saying. Keith Shannon at number 51. The man from St Helens, he'll be on the 250 Cotton Telstar. And also, we've got Barry Davidson, of course, is also in the 250. The Ballymena rider, he's on the J&G Racing Honda. The winner, of course, of that class last year. He's at number 40. And the newcomer in here is number 93. That is Gary Abbott, the Bridge North rider, and he's on a 350 BSA Gold Star. That's his own prepared outfit. So that is setting up the race. It will be a race tomorrow evening over 6 laps. So that's 25.5 miles around the Colas Billown course in total. The race record, well, not surprisingly, it's the same riders, but it's not 1997 Bob Jackson's. It's all the way back to 1995, another 2 years back in the history annals, and that was an average speed of 79.34 miles per hour on that 250 machine. But Roy Richardson, he doubled up. He had the race record as well as the lap record in 2009. The record there was an average speed of 87.35 miles per hour. So see the clerk of the course down here at the moment, and he is just on the phone and just making a few investigations, and we are looking at a couple of the stewards as well, and across the way there's no flags flying as such yet here down at the Southern 100. Flagpoles at the back of the grandstand here on the start-finish line, and also a very special one here in the commentary position and the race control position. So we've got a course inspection car coming over School Hill Rise now, and it is indicating to pull in here. So I think they've just had one of the officials in there just to have a look at something that's been identified, and they're now getting out of the car. Of course, it's Mill Crease that supply the course inspection cars that then become the course open cars. And just a reminder that roads remain closed until that roads open car has gone through. That'll be a good couple of hours at least away. But I think we're about to get action underway. So we'll go back to the holding area and say hello again to Chris Kinley.
Yeah, thank you very much. The machines have just been given the 1 minute little holding pattern, as we say. The little klaxon I just heard, the revs of rising up there. You can hear all the different machines. You can definitely hear a little Greaves ticking up there. That'll be a Will Loader in that. And here comes the Mill Crease car coming in. It's the Subaru. Wants to go in that way. I might have to go and help Dickie Gale with the fencing here. Dickie can get that side. See, this is what's called cooperation with the sponsors. There you go, young Master Mill Creased. There you are, young James puts the Subaru machine. A Subaru, what is it, a Cross-Trek? It's a hybrid as well. That means it's technical, and I'll probably break it if I ever had one of them. But here come the machines now. Like Tim said, the green plates and the blue plates. So let's get the other side, because a lot of people like to take videos of all these machines coming up to their various positions. Hi, bud, you okay? You all right? All right. There's 51, first one through 51. Keith Shannon, retired last year in this race. 21, Will Loader. Also 45's there, Steve Hegarty, 17th in the race last year. 22 through now, Rob Graham, 9th last year. 69, yeah, regular here, Jeff Bates, and a regular on the show I normally do for the radio station. Good to see Jeff back here again. Andy Hunt, 4th last year in the 103 machine. Barry Davison, good to see Baz here. Barry Davison, veteran of Irish road racing. He won't mind me calling him that because we're about the same age. 40, Barry Davison, 3rd in this one last year. 72, Shelley Pike, as we mentioned. Shelley on that Ducati again this year. 79, just gone past there. Eddie Poole, 12th last year. 60 is next to Stu Robinson on the AJS. 76 also through as well. Very, very nice. All nice and tidy. Roy Phipps there. 20th, Roy from Newcastle under Lyme, of course. 15 on the green plates. 15 is Bob Doughty on the far end Ducati. 27 is next John Cliff on the Manx Norton. He's from Whitby, the Whitby tyre and exhaust centre machine. Not sure if there's many more coming through. Still says exactly the same on the board as what it does before. We'll give it again if you just joined us. Damp patches across 4 ways, as Chris Palmer alluded to, the bomb hole and also the stadium, which is Castletown Football Stadium. We seem to have a few people in there ready to park, and I'm sure the club will make you most welcome. Castletown Metropolitan Football Club, as it's known. So we're nearly just about ready. I think these guys don't want to be too long. Number 77 there is Neil Champion, member of the Andreas Racing Association Club. He's just trying to get that machine fired up on the 350 Rupert Murden Ducati, the Ramsey man. He'll be running the ZXR 750, I think, in the big superbike class as well. He's just put the machine back onto compression. We're nearly ready to go. Guys are stood in the road ready. So we'll just have to be patient to get a little bit closer to give you some more of the effects of these machines. Petty Manx Norton just ahead of us here now, 27. As we mentioned, John Cliff. Not sure if Neil Champion's managed to get that machine fired up yet, but he's got an able pusher with him there anyway. They do have the rolling starter, I think. I hope they do, if not they might need it. They have like a little machine where they put the rear tyre on, and it's like a kart tyre that spins really, really fast. The rear tyre kicks in, bang, and away they go. So the gate is now open. Stand by, Hedges, stand by at Ballachagan. Machines are making their way. We'll keep an eye on Neil Champion. Hopefully Champ will get his machine up and running. Former 250 champion up there at Derby at the airfield. Former chairman of the club as well. 15 there. Bob Doughty goes through. Bob. Sidecar passenger of note over the years as well. Through here as Bob. Let's see if Neil Champion can get her fired up. Oh, she's thinking about it. Have a listen. No, she's not thinking about it at all, is it? No. So I think we all just locked up the rear tyre, did Champ there, unfortunately. 77 Neil Champion not going as of yet, but I'm sure here comes the rolling road. So this is when it'll get going. There's the rest of the machines going up, but 15 has got a problem there. I think he's going to have to turn the machine round, Bob Doughty, so he's not going to be able to get out. But here is the rolling road, being dragged over by the guys. Hopefully we can put this thing on there. I think it needs a bit of air in one of those tyres anyway. I think they need it down here. Oh, number 15, Bob Doughty's the machine stopped on him. As it all goes quiet here now, hopefully the little 250 Ducati will fire. No, she's not died as well, so we need to get that starter going for the guys. The battery is on there. Wind your backs. Rupert Murden jumps on the machine himself. He knows that machine like his own body, does Rupert. There you go, guys. So that's Neil Champion's machine fired up. We'll go to Rob any second now, so stand by, Rob. 77 is fired up again, Neil Champion. Will Bob Doughty get his machine going? Come on, you little machine, fire up. Oh, yes, there you go. Rob Pritchard, cross four ways to you.
That rolling road, what would we do without it? Yes, we're awaiting the first machines. We could just hear them in the distance. Our vantage point is slightly different. We can look down the road well towards the dip in front of us on the approach to Cross Four Ways, but just not quite up towards that tree line as the first machine emerges, taking up a little bit of a gap, headed towards Cross Four Ways, and that is number 37. So that's one of the newcomers in there as well. And also number 51, so that's Keith Shannon, a previous winner in this particular class, followed by number 21, Will Loader. He might fancy himself this year. He was only beaten by Mike Hose last year, but had a considerable gap to the next 350 in that particular class. So those two have just given themselves just a little bit of room, a bit of fresh tarmac, as another machine just gingerly makes its way towards us into the corner. That is number 93, Gary Abbott, the newcomer. And then numbers 45 and 22, so Steve Higgerty and Rod Graham making their way into Cross Four Ways here. The field spreading out just a little bit. Here comes another man who did well last year, 103, Andy Hunt, the man from Ely. Barry Davidson, number 40, just ahead on the road. And number 69, Jeff Bates, number 72, and 63 on the way through. 63, Angela Cragg, a newcomer last year, 16th in this particular race. Overall, that is, not in the 250 class over there on the Manx Norton as well. And just a couple of seconds back here, again, one of those 350s on the blue plates is number 79, Edward Poole there, the man from Kurt Michael. 3 more machines down into the dip as well. A little closer together here. There's numbers 25, 27 and 76 here into Cross Four Ways. The back of that group there is Royston Phipps. Back to you, Tim.
Yeah, number 37 first across the line. That's Chris Moffat. There's 21, Will Loader. And 51, Keith Shannon. Of course, there'll be no times because this isn't a complete lap, because they've started a little bit further down the line. So the stopwatches will be running, and the times we will get at the end of the next lap. So just the 3, as Rob was saying, a little bit of tarmac ahead as another bike, though, emerges into view. And we'll listen to this across the line. 22. So that was 22, Rod Graham, 93, Gary Abbott, 45, Steve Higgerty, and 103, Andy Hunt. That's 40, Barry Davidson, 69, Jeff Bates, 72, Shelley Pike, and 63, Angela Cragg, as more machines cross the railway bridge. And this is number 79, and that is Edward Poole. And I think we're going to get quite a scotch, as the word Chris used. Many bikes across the line now. 25, Andrew Guy, and 27, John Cliff. And there's 76, and that is Roy Phipps on that 249 Honda. And number 60 across the line, that is Stuart Robinson. Let's go back to Cross Four Ways and Rob Pritchard.
Yeah, first flying lap of the 2024 Pre-TT Classic Road Races. As you mentioned, the time's starting to come through, but they won't be particularly relevant given this is the first flying lap there. But interesting to see the different approaches that some of these riders are taking, particularly the newcomers. We've already seen Chris Moffat straight out in front there. Clearly got the preference to just try and get that stretch of road in front of him. But some of them maybe just hanging around with the group, see how they behave here as two more machines make their way towards Cross Four Ways. And now at the front of the order is number 21, Will Loader, followed by number 37 on the way through as well. So Will Loader out front in terms of the running order, just coming through Cross Four Ways. So there's two machines there, opening up quite a bit of a gap to the field behind them as we await them to go down through the dip in front of us and make their way towards us across Four Ways. But just on the previous point there, some of those, as we've just seen going through Cross Four Ways there, they enjoy having that open space to work the course to their own benefit. But some of those riders in behind it can be a particular advantage to some of those newcomers as well. Just having a couple of those riders around you, those experienced heads, to see how they behave, how they act going through all those individual sectors around the Billown Course, or indeed any course, as we see number 22 there. So that's Rod Graham on the 350 Ducati. And a couple of seconds back here, number 103, that's Andy Hunt on the 250 Ducati Monza as well. So two more, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 machines now making their way forward towards us at Cross Four Ways. Number 40, Barry Davidson, going past all of them here. Also past number 45, Steve Higgerty was at the front of that. We've got number 69 in there as well. 93, back to you, Tim.
First bike into view. That is Will Loader, 79.615 miles per hour. 37, I think, just indicating that he's going to be turning in at the bottom here. That's Chris Moffat, the newcomer, 76.063 miles per hour. Will Loader then a time of 3 minutes 12.176 seconds. Chris Moffat 3 minutes 21.149 seconds for him. But I think Chris Moffat was just had the foot out and just indicating, I think, those two are way ahead. As another bike I can see just traversing the bridge. And he is, we understand, Chris Moffat just making a few adjustments. There's number 22, Rod Graham, 73.311 miles per hour. And in fourth there, 103, Andy Hunt at 73.151. So just confirmation, 37, the newcomer, Chris Moffat, just making a few adjustments. 72, Shelley Pike, and I believe that Chris Moffat has got back out again. So far in fifth place is number 72, Shelley Pike. Sixth, number 69, Jeff Bates. Seventh, number 63, Angela Cragg. Sixth now is Edward Poole. So seventh, Jeff Bates, Angela Cragg down in eighth. And Andrew Guy has slotted himself into fifth position with number 27, John Cliff, getting into sixth. So Shelley Pike now down to seventh. But Will Loader is quickest. Let's go back to Cross Four Ways and Rob Pritchard.
Indeed, that's a strong opening lap from Will Loader, that, isn't it, there, with the 3:12.176 here, and one lone machine making its way to Cross Four Ways. Indeed, it is the rider with the leading time at the moment, number 21, Will Loader, certainly not hanging about at all as he goes into that tight right-hander on his way up towards Church Bends as well. You mentioned Andrew Guy there, also a top 5 finisher in the 350 class last year as well, so good opening lap from number 25, Andrew Guy. Number 103, Andy Hunt, was also in the mix during last year as well. He's right up in the mix. Chris Moffat there, you've already mentioned, Tim, that he's pulled in just to make a few adjustments, but that's certainly serving as a very positive opening lap there, and they'll be hoping they could just find a little bit more out of that particular machine once they do get back out onto track, whether it's in this session or elsewhere as well. But Will Loader, well, it feels like he has the whole of the Billown Course to himself at the moment. He's pulled out that big a gap to the field of machines behind him, and we could just only about hear them in the distance as well. I mentioned before that we don't quite have the vantage point that we did here last year. We used to be able to see to the hill above us where the road starts to dip down. We don't have that, so we do have to wait a couple of seconds longer here at Cross Four Ways. But there is another machine emerging towards us, so they'll be coming round past that header on the left-hand side into that compression as well, and that is number 22 in there, so that's Rod Graham. Followed a couple of seconds back here by number 103, Andy Hunt. Andy Hunt currently fourth in the timings at the moment in 3:29.1 24.56. So that works out at around 24, just under 24.7 seconds off the pace of number 21, Will Loader. Although it is worth pointing out he's on a 250 machine. Will Loader on a 350 as number 72. Shelley Pike on the way through as well. Another solid finisher during last year as a newcomer on the 345 Ducati. Number 40, Barry Davidson. He'll be hoping for more success in this class as well. Back to you, Tim.
Thank you very much. And Will Loader through quite a while ago now as the checkered flag just being readied. But 82.928 miles per hour for Will Loader, number 21 on that lap on the 350 Greaves, the Hinckley rider. So that is 3 minutes, 4.498 seconds. So even quicker than he went with that 79 mile an hour opening lap. 82.9, nearly 83, and that's a considerable speed ahead of anyone else involved in this practice session. Next rider interview, two more interview. And that's 22, Rod Graham, the first of those. He's up into fourth position now. And number 103, Andy Hunt, is up into third place at 75.078 miles per hour as the checkered flag is now out. Number 72, Shelley Pike, just nodding in acknowledgement that she'd seen the checkered flag there as she went through. She's up into fifth at the moment, 63.40 and 37. And 37, of course, is the newcomer Chris Moffat. Hasn't improved with all those adjustments he made. 79, Edward Poole is across the line there. He's up into ninth position. 69, Jeff Bates, also through. He's 11th. And up into 13th position, Steve Higgerty. And up into 14th there, number 93, Gary Abbott. 25, Andrew Guy remains in 6th. And number 7 is 27, John Cliff. So that leaderboard at the moment then, Will Loader way in front there. Number 21, 82.928 miles per hour. Still in second, though, is number 37, Chris Moffat. In fact, no, second now is Andrew Hunt at 75.078. Chris Moffat is shown lower down now, but at 76.063 is a best lap. But of course, that last lap time considerably slower at 4:39.766. 77, Neil Champion has crossed the line there. He's 7th quickest on the evening, and up into 13th is number 76, Roy Phipps. There's 21 across the line, getting an extra lap in, and quicker again is Will Loader, 83.772 miles per hour. So he is a full 10 miles an hour quicker than the rider currently in third, number 22, Rod Graham, at 73.6. 83.7 for Will Loader. He really has bossed things around Billown here this evening and put a real marker down that this is one that he really is eyeing up for victory. Of course, there's another practice session tomorrow afternoon. And then we will have racing in the evening, and the first race away will be this one, the MSP-R Singles Classic race over 6 laps. Reminder that the 250s, green plates for them, and Class 2 is the blue plates, and that is up to the 350cc mark. So next out this evening, of course, our times are out because of that 5-minute delay. So we've had the singles out. We should have the bigger bikes now, the 1,100cc classics. They were due out at 6:48, and the time now is, well, it's quite a considerable lag. So they will be shortening the sessions this evening because they have got that road closure. It's 10 minutes past 7. So I'm sure they are just lopping a few minutes off each session, giving them a fair amount of time, but also making sure they can get everybody out for hopefully an equal amount of run as they go through to this evening. So Looking at the 1,100cc classic race, we've got Joe Yeardsley with the number 1 plate, of course, the Laxey rider. He's out on the Royal Enfield Bullet from Flitwick Motorcycles. We've got Andy Hornbury at number 2. He's out on the Big Triumph. And then we've got the Ruthless Racing Honda for the Bolton Les Sands rider, number 3, Alan Oversby. But also other riders to take in. Be a quick turnaround for Will Loader, number 21. He's going to go out on the 500 Sealy G50. But also in here we've got Mike Brown on the Davies Motorsport Yamaha. Harley Rushton at 7, 9 Chris McGahn, 11 Steve Elliott on the Rutter Honda. 12 is Richard Ford. He's on the Bob Jackson Norton, the Preston rider Richard Ford. Kelly Carruthers, the Kinross rider, he's out on a Honda 500. Owen Monaghan, he is out on the Kirby Honda. Rod Graham, again Honda mounted, the rider from Nottingham. We've got Tom Snow out on the Ducati, the Guildford rider. Andrew Jessup, number 36, is in the programme starting this as well. And 39, Tomo Burnett. 40, Barry Davidson, the Ballymena rider, with another quick turnaround for him. 41, Andy Kildare. 45, Steve Higgerty. 67, and he's on the Manx Norton, is the St John's rider, Brian Appleton. 75, Neil Lloyd. 80, Mark Parrott. And 100, Heffin Owen. But Will Loader, my word, let's just get the thoughts there of Rob Pritchard while we wait for the next class to get ready. He was just on a different, seemed to be on a different planet, Rob.
He was indeed, and I think that gap that he just built up ahead of the rest of the pack will have probably helped as well with that fresh tarmac in front of him. Just having a look through this as well, if you have to look to the next nearest 350cc machine, number 22, Rod Graham, he's just over 25 seconds ahead of number 22, Rod Graham as well. So that just kind of lets you know a little bit about the pace. And to put it into context as well of the actual timing there from Will Loader in this opening session, we should point out, compared to his race pace in 2023 as well, where he took second behind Mike Hose, his best time during the race was 2:55.289 on his way to that podium spot. So to be doing 3 minutes 2.639 as a best lap, that last lap as well, is some pace to be setting well within the 10-second point as well of making their way towards the race time as well. So very positive start indeed. Saw some good early pace there as well of Chris Moffat there, who we understand, just looking up on the timings that are up there, is registering as a retirement as well. So maybe some of those adjustments just not quite working out mechanically at the moment, but still plenty of time to work those sort of things out. But that is an impressive pace from Will Loader as well. Just looking ahead to this 1100cc Classic, just one thing to point out as well, that 4 of the top 5 of last year's 1100cc Classic race are not involved in the class this year, and they include the winner, number 96 Dominic Herbertson, second place number 56 Adam McLean, number 36 Jamie Coward, who finished 4th, and number 44 Russ Mountford as well. Only the man who finished 3rd, number 2 Andy Hornby, that day on the 750 Triumph, and he is in there on the number 2 machine, the 750 Triumph, again the man from Exeter as well. So that could really open things out in this 1100cc class across the weekend. So it'll be interesting to see what the early timings are. I can't draw too many conclusions from opening practice, of course, but particularly with a Will Loader lap like that, it can certainly give you a statement or two heading into the rest of the weekend. So yes, very prominent lap indeed from Will Loader there, and I think the 350s and 250s might have a job to catch him if that's the way things are going to go, but still plenty can happen. In the meantime, back to you, Tim.
Yes, thank you, Rob. Yeah, a full 10 miles per hour quicker than the third fastest time that we had this evening. We want to hear this klaxon, so I'm going to go down to Chris Kinley and see where we are with getting the next bikes out, the bigger bikes. Chris, good evening again.
I don't think you're going to hear the klaxon for where I am, Tim, because I'm up by the little Parc Fermé area because we're waiting for the machines to be brought forward. I'm not sure it's going to be too far away before they get through. Must mention newcomer Gary Abbott just gone through there, the number 93 bike, qualifying in 14th with a 351.191 as a travelling marshal with the 2024 Honda Fireblade goes through and sits at the end of the return road there, 21 seconds ahead. Had some That's some gap between Will Loader and Andy Hunt, isn't it? Rod Graham, you mentioned. Shelley Pike showing well again there too, but Will Loader kind of streets ahead on that machine. This one then, the Foraging Vintners. I've been supplying sparkling wines and stuff down here at the Southern 100 for many, many times. For many, many years. Is that the Reverend? Well, is he still a Reverend? Don't think is he still okay. John Caldwell here is involved with the club, and it's good to see John down here involved on the compassionate side, if you want to call it that, helping the club out if anything untoward happens. You can possibly just hear machines in the background. Again, there's two classes in this one. And the yellow plates, black numbers for 500cc machines, the standard senior TT yellow background with the black numbers, and the over 500cc machines with the white plates and the black numbers. 7 miles, 29.75 miles, that's all it is. Looking at that record, Dominic Herbertson holds that. 96.877, that's a name that's missing from here this year. Of course, broke that last year, and of course, the race record gone last year as well at 95.174. Dominic, of course, took the win for Adam McLean and Jamie Coward. All that front three on here. A couple of additionals to look out for. You see number 5 going round. That's Paul Cassidy. At the local, we mentioned Paul, who lives, in fact, I'm probably looking at the back of his house because he lives over there in the little estate called Ballarloch. So Cass out on a 500cc Honda, and 32 Aaron Hughes. Aaron is another addition there. He's on the 500cc Honda. So no movement yet, I don't think. I can see people in bibs moving around down there, the orange bibs or the yellow bibs. Everyone's just having a little look up there now. What time are we coming up to? 7:15, and somebody just said to me, it is cold tonight. It is really, really cold. And Alan Oversby must be out in a minute because there's a good lady walking past as well. So, yeah, no ideas where we are moving. I'm looking to the paddock controller here, Dickie Cale, who's just shaking his head. Don't say anything untoward because I'm live on radio at the moment. Did you catch that just in the background? Possibly you did.
We got it. Yes, we heard it.
It was either that it was the Manxman coming in, I don't know. But yeah, it is. That's the minute warning there now. So we did get a little bit in the background there now. We'll just stay on just for a moment then as we see the machines up through here. Conditions down here, not much different to when we came on air, really. A little bit more of a breeze blowing circuit direction from left to right, so blowing from Scarlet, Pool Vash sort of area. For those who know the area, if you look down towards Port Mary, Port Eyre and Gansey Bay, blowing them down the Ballachagan straight down to Iron Gate there, yeah. So blowing the machines down there, but they get right on the back there now. Those little machines, they keep an eye on gearing. It's not that windy on the fall, it won't really affect it. And then when you turn, obviously, as you go past Rob across 4 ways and heading towards us, and now we have the machines coming forward into their positions. And we'll just move down a little bit. Just want to get these effects of these machines coming through. They've got the Roland Road all fixed up there, all going on. They managed to get a machine fixed earlier on. Thanks, buddy. Cheers. Good man yourself. Thank you very much. Cheers. So here we go. So hopefully all okay this time. Gives us a big smile. That was the number 35 from earlier on. His machine just would not fire, so they've let him go out in this one. So he is going to be out of class. So keep an eye on the red plate. Is Will Loader in again? Will just went really well in that practice session. 40 Barry Davison, 2 Andy Hornby, 3 that of course Alan Oversby, number 100 Heffin Owen, 32. We mentioned him, Aaron Hughes, late entry on the 500 Honda. Number 6 Mike Brown, 22 just goes past us as well. Rod Graham on the 500cc Honda for Nottingham. Number 12 is next through. That's Richie Ford, 7th. He, of course, on the Bob Jackson Honda. I've seen Bob here already. Or Bob Jackson Norton, should I say. Number 11, Stevie Elliott. Stephen from Frodsham. Not too far away. In fact, machines are now already out on the circuit. As number 1, Joe Yeardsley goes through. Keep an eye out for Joe. Won here last year on the big classic superbikes. Won the Manx Grand Prix last year as well. He's on the Flitwick motorcycles, 498 Royal Enfield and S24. Tom Snow. Lovely to see Tom again. Got to keep a little eye out for my old mate Mark Parrott, who's out here as well. Had a quick chat with Mark today up at the TT paddock. He's riding at number 80, and here he is coming past us here now. Gives us a big thumbs up. Good to see Mark here again. Looking for more success on the mountain circuit. And Mark on that number 80 machine on the Works Norton. We will say hello to his, in fact, we'll just let number 39 go by first off. Tom O'Burnett, local man on the Izzard Racing Norton. There's number 20 as well, just going past us also. We just say a big hello to John Lee Pemberton as well. John Lee, who's out there marshalling, packed in the bike racing now, but he is out there marshalling, so good to see him. Number 5 goes through there, and also number 7. Number 5, Paul Cassidy. Number 7 just gone through. That's Harley Rushton on the Ted Woof Craven Classic Racing Machine. And at the back will be that number 35 who's going out of class. And somebody's just got a problem with the rolling road. Got no time to do that. Cross 4 ways, lap 1 of this 3rd practice session.
Yeah, the unmistakable roarers. We've got the first 2, 3, 4 machines making their way into cross 4 ways at the head of the order. It's that man again, number 21, Will Loaders, 40, 2 and number 3. So Alan Oversby on the Ruthless Racing Honda at the back of that group of 4 making their way. Just listen to that on the exit across 4 ways. They're making up a little bit of ground already on the machines in behind them. There's 2 more emerging to view. There's number 100, Heffernoen on the Sealy G60, followed by number 6. So that's Mike Brown there, the Davies Motorsport Yamaha TX500 there. There's number 56 on the way through as well. So already seeing the group starting to spread out just a little bit again, some trying to get further forward. There's numbers 22 and 32 as well, so that's Rod Graham. And the aforementioned number 32, Aaron Hughes, a late entry, so just one to bear in mind. That's number 41 on the way through there. That's Andy Kildee, the 750 Hunter. 37, Chris Moffat back out again, number 16, as well as numbers 12 and 1 on the way through. There's Joe Yeardsley just getting ahead on the road at number 12. Richard Ford there, who's on the Bob Jackson Norton there, the man from Preston. So we're already seeing a group of 4 making their way ahead of the rest of the group. Back to you, Tim.
Yeah, first 4 interview. We'll let you listen to them. Great noises. Number 2, Andy Hornby, first across the line. We had number 3, Alan Oversby, 21, Will Loader, and 40, Barry Davidson, racing there at very close quarters as they came over School Hill Rise. 2 more into view. That's 6, Mike Brown, and 56, Adam McLean, indicated there as through. 56, Adam McLean. 6th of the bikes, and 2 more into view. We'll listen to these across the line, no time. 22, Rod Graham, and number 32, Aaron Hughes are through. That's 41, Andy Kildare. 16, Kelly Carruthers is through. 1, Joe Yeardsley. 12, Richard Ford, and 37, Chris Moffat, as you can just hear the drone and roar of the bikes just fading away into the distance as they go past the clubhouse and out towards Ballachagan, the first of the big corners here. Another rider over the bypass hill there, School Hill, number 17. That's Owen Monaghan. 2 more. 24 was Tom Snow. 11, Stephen Elliott. 80, Mark Parrott. And 25, Andrew Guy. 9, Chris McGahn. 39, Tom O'Burnett. And 45, Steve Higgerty. But let's go back to Cross 4 Ways and Rob Pritchard.
Yeah, thanks, Tim. 3 more machines. So there's 82, 2 and 3. So there's Andy Hornby and Alan Oversby, 2 potential favourites for this particular class, number 40 and 21. That's Barry Davidson and Will Loader. And I distinctly remember saying a few minutes ago that I didn't believe that Adam McLean was in this class. That's because he wasn't on my notes. And here he is, Adam. I know he can't hear this, but apologies that I missed out your name there. So there's Adam McLean through as well. Adam McLean 2nd in this particular class last year. Andy Hornby in 3rd. But as we've mentioned already, that we do know, the race winner from last year, Dom Herbertson, not involved in this class this year. As you see, number 6, Mike Brown, going down through the box there and down around that tight right-hander here across 4 ways. So with the first few machines through, starting to see that gap open up just a little bit. So some of them will just be wanting to stretch those machines a little bit more, try and get those times in, because as Tim's already mentioned, with those slight delays, it might be a slightly shorter session as well. And there's number 32, so that's Aaron Hughes, the late entry on the way through. Numbers 12 and 22 on the way through. Richard Ford and Rod Graham, numbers 41, and then number 1, Joe Yeardsley on that Royal Enfield Bullet. Number 16, number 37, Chris Moffat. He's back out again at that back of that particular scutch of machines, around 5 or 6 of them going through there. So it'll be interesting to see what those times are as they make their way back over the start-finish line. Back to you, Tim.
Indeed, 5 through at the moment. Here's the 6th, number 56, Adam McLean. He goes to the top, 91.667 miles per hour. Second at the moment is number 2, Andy Hornby at 89.439. Third is number 3, Alan Oversby at 89.418. And 86.419. Fourth, number 40, Barry Davidson. That's number 6, Mike Brown through there on that Yamaha, the Davies Motorsport outfit, 81.006, which slots him into 6th place at the moment. 2 more machines into view. And of those, number 12, Richard Ford, is into 4th. And number 32, Aaron Hughes, is down in 8th. Number 1, Joe Yeardsley, has crossed the line. He's in 6th position. And others through, number 16, Kelly Carruthers, 41, Andy Kildare, 37, Chris Moffat, and number 6, Mike Brown. But it's number 56, good to see him here, Adam McLean, 91.667 miles per hour, 2 minutes 46.908 seconds. Second then, Andy Hornby, 89.439, 2 minutes 51.067, 24 across the line. Let's go to Rob at Cross Four Ways.
Yeah, that Adam McLean gap is not as significant as Will Lotus in the last class, but significant enough to have a nice lead as Andy Hornby and Alan Oversby. Numbers 2 and 3 are through, so as Tim's already mentioned, if you missed it a moment ago, Andy Hornby currently second, 4.1 seconds off the pace of Adam McLean on the last lap. Alan Oversby third. As number 40, Barry Davidson goes through. He's running well in fifth as number 56, Adam McLean. There he is, fastest time at the moment, 2:46.9 on that last lap. There's number 21, Will Lotus, seventh after that first flying lap as well. So backing up what was a really good session in the previous practice there, and up into 7th of these particular timings. So that's a group of machines that got out on the road first, still together if you like, but starting to open up a few more gaps between the two of them. Here is number 82 on the way through there, and that is, let's just make sure we've got the right, Stefan Radakovic. Number 6, Mike Brown, on the way through as well. He's running rather well as Mike Brown at the moment. He's dropping down to 14th though after that first flying lap on the way through. There's number 12 as well. That's Richard Ford on the Bob Jackson Norton as well. So it'd be interesting to see Adam McLean with that little bit of a gap as we get Joe Yeardsley, the number 1, coming through. Back to you, Tim.
Yeah, through number 2, Andy Hornby at 91.095, and number 3, Alan Oversby at 90.420, but Adam McLean, number 56, has just gone through, and 92.107, 2 minutes 46.112, as the 1 minute board is out, but the checkered flag is being prepared. Will Loader is through. He's in 6th currently at 86.453. Remember, in practice, we're going to get the 3 minute, 2 minute, and 1 minute boards out so that the riders can see those and they know that they've only got time for one more lap and will be expecting the checkered flag as they come through again. Number 6, Mike Brown. The checkered flag was waving as he crossed the line, so he will call it a day now. Up into 4th is number 12, Richard Ford, with a lap at 89.221 miles per hour. That's number 1, Joe Yeardsley. He comes up into 6th position at 87.264. And 32, Aaron Hughes, currently 9th, was the latest one through, number 32. 41 there. And number 16, that was Andy Kildare and Kelly Carruthers racing very closely together as they cross the line. All these riders now will be pulling in at the bottom of the bypass up to Arbury Road. So 56, Adam McLean, he's gone out for another lap, so we'll wait and see how they do. 92.107 miles per hour. Second, number 2, Andy Hornby, 91.095 miles per hour. Third, number 3, Alan Oversby, and he is at 90.420. 24, Tom Snow has got himself into the top 10 and 10th in the provisional standings. Well, he was, because now in 9th we've got number 5, Paul Cassidy, and up in 10th position is number 80, Mark Parrott. So we've still got some riders out circulating, and we'll just pop out to Cross Four Ways and see if they come through there.
Yeah, we've already had the top three so far in this particular practice go through. Adam McLean, of course, still leading the way that last lap there. 2:46.1, going slightly better than he did on his first flying lap. But interesting to note, number 2, Andy Hornby in second. Number 3, Alan Oversby in third. Just bringing down that gap ever so slightly. So it'll be interesting to see what times they manage to get through as they cross the start-finish line next time on the way through. But quite close together on the road, particularly Andy Hornby and Alan Oversby in there. So 2 together on the road. Adam McLean just a little bit further back as well. So it'll be interesting to see how they get on this last lap there. But Adam McLean, that was a flying opener from him. Back to you, Tim.
Yeah, we can't see what Adam McLean's lap was because the screen's just a little bit too far down. I can tell you Barry Davidson has gone into 5th position, number 40 at 88.017. 2:45.1 for Adam McLean on that last lap. Second is number 2, Andy Hornby at 91.543 miles per hour. Third is number 3, Alan Oversby, and he's gone quickest on that 4th lap at 91.049. Fourth quickest is number 12, Richard Ford, at 89.221 miles per hour. Fifth, number 40, Barry Davidson, who did a quickest lap there on that 4th timed lap at 88.017. In 6th, number 1, Joe Yeardsley at 87.264 miles per hour. 7th, number 21, Will Loader, 87.045 miles per hour. 8th, number 6, Mike Brown at 84.498 miles per hour. 9th is number 5, the Castletown man, Paul Cassidy, 84.275 miles per hour. In 10th, number 80, Mark Parrott, 83.271 miles per hour. Then we have in 11th, number 16, Kelly Carruthers. 12th, number 7, Harley Rushton. 13th, number 24, Tom Snow. 14th, number 32, Aaron Hughes. 15th is number 9, Chris McGahn. 16th, number 11, Stephen Elliott. 17th, number 41, Andy Kildare. 18th, number 37, Chris Moffat. As another rider interview is number 37 across the line, and that is in 18th, number 37, the newcomer, Chris Moffat. 19th position, we've got number 39, Tomo Burnett. 20th, number 22, that is Rod Graham. 21st, number 17, Owen Monaghan. And in 22nd, number 25, I can tell you, is Andrew Guy, number 25, there in 22nd. So it is number 56, Adam McLean, who is leading the way on that first practice session for this Foraging Vintners 1100cc classic race. Mix of machinery in there. The 500cc machines are on the yellow plates with black numbers, and over 500cc machinery is on white plates with black numbers. This race, when it will be going ahead tomorrow evening, that's when we first get the racing in, with all the practice then hopefully all done and dusted, will be over 7 laps of the Colas Billown course, so a total distance of 29 3/4 miles. Well, we had a record-breaking performance last year with Dominic Herbertson setting a new lap record for this class at 96.877 miles per hour. And he also set a race record with an average speed of 95.174 miles per hour. So look at the time there that Adam McLean has put in. It's not too shabby at all on a grey and cold evening, it has to be said, down here at the Colas Billown course. In the south of the Isle of Man, it is, we haven't got that wind howling northwesterly we had for 2 days solid that has caused so much damage up at the TT grandstand. And just worth re-emphasising that the fan park and the paddock and everything at the grandstand is not open as was anticipated tomorrow. That's the vendors as well. It will not be open because there's still a lot of setup, a lot of repairs to be made up there. They have taken an absolute battering, and I know there were issues with getting the machinery into the field here as well. So when you consider, well, particularly with the TT, there's so much heavy machinery and lorries that go in there these days, it is difficult. Well, let's get the thoughts there of Rob Pritchard out at Cross Four Ways, and I wasn't quite expecting to see number 56, Adam McLean, even racing.
No, neither was I, Tim. So just for a bit of clarity, his name did not appear on my notes, which led me to believe he might not have been at this year's meeting. But I'm delighted to have been proven wrong. And, well, an excellent performance out there. A best lap of 2 minutes 45.159, his best time. But he didn't have it all his own way. I think it's fair to say set out a good marker to start with, didn't he? But he's one of 3 riders that have dipped below that 2 minutes 50 barrier. The other, second, number 2, Andy Hornby, 2 minutes 47.134, his best lap. And then number 3, Alan Overspeed, 2 minutes 48.041. And there's a couple of other riders out there as well, just outside that top 3, that are just starting to push that 250 mark as well. You've got number 12, Richard Ford, 2 minutes 51.485 was his best lap out there. Number 40, Barry Davidson, 2 minutes 53.8. So little bit less clear cut than we maybe thought on that first flying lap. So still plenty to think about. But Adam McLean, fast as it is. Over to you.